End team ban.
Hey, gods, you with me? Hello?
Yep, I am. You bet.
Sorry about that, guys. I am producing and casting, and they are at two separate desks. Welcome back to the Corsair Summer Cup, brought to you by Beyond the Summit. I'm LD. He's Gods. Gods, it's time for speed drafting, as we're well into it.
I don't even know if we get that. I think we just start listing off heroes here. Almost. We have Cuddle PL. Groan, boo, hiss. But it's I don't know. We'll have to see how this draft's round off. Rox Kiss have picked up some of their sort of signature heroes. They've got the Lifesteal, they've got the Weaver. The only thing that's missing, well, is one of their other signature heroes, the Gyrocopter, although you probably wouldn't pick all three at once.
Yeah, of course, Rox Kiss did have to make a roster change due to Solo leaving the team, the whole scandal with him, but do you know how they've been doing since the roster replacement? I took a quick look, and it seems like they've beaten a couple of lesser-known teams, but have struggled against the top ones.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing I've been seeing. They seem to still be a decent team, like one of those tier 2 Western teams, but they don't really seem to have that same pizzazz. They were never really a top tier 1 team. They did get to the grand finals of the EMS 1 LAN, but that was like one of those one-off, they were in really good form. They had a great tournament. They had the slightly easier bracket, of course, but they seem to be doing just decently lately.
I'm just watching the chat with 2-minute delay, and everybody is, of course, going nuts. Sorry about the production issues, guys, but we'll try and get them sorted out for you. Let's see if I can remove that. There we go. So, Cuddle PL for NEXT.kz. Yeah. Like you said, a little bit cheeky. RoX.KiS actually go with a Lich? Why do you think you go Lich here? What's the thought process?
I guess they just want to deny as much farm as possible from the PL tri lane, which they're assuming will be in the bottom lane. They'll probably chuck something like maybe even send Lich bottom with something like the Weaver. Could do something like an offensive tri lane, which is played very defensively, very passive with the Lich Dark Ritual, or you just deny a creep or two, help pull the wave back.
And you look at NEXT.kz overall, this is a lineup that wants to turtle. This is a lineup that wants to go ultra late game.
Yeah, this is all about that late game. You've got the great power of Mag to sort of give you those team fights and make it hard for RoX.KiS to push, because pushing into a Blink RP is never going to be fun. But the big problem with the NEXT.kz lineup for me is they only have one source of damage, which is going to be the PL, and that's a hero who's not going to be doing a lot of damage until much later on. It's like you say, a lot of turtling is going to come from them.
Yeah, we'll see if they're successful with that. And on that note, guys, welcome into the stream. It's time to introduce the teams. We've got NEXT.kz on the Dire side. They have, well, they've been up and down. It's been a topsy-turvy year for them. They came so close to securing a spot at the International 2. They didn't make it, and since then, I know they've had sponsorship issues. They've made some roster changes over, not recently, but over the past 6 months or so, and since then have really struggled to find their footing. Let's see if they can step things up here. They do have a staunch opponent in RoX.KiS who competed in this year's qualifiers. On the Dire side, we have Reeves playing the Keeper of the Light, Equal handling the Shadow Demon, Mantis, or Manta as his name is in this game, playing the Phantom Lancer, Wadafaka on the solo mid-mag, and last but not least, it's Stallcat. He's hugging the northern tree line. And he needs to, because RoX.KiS are out for blood.
Yeah, RoX.KiS are out for blood. They've got BZZ is perfect, playing the Puck, Yol playing the Rubik, Tipo, the new player, playing that Weaver. We've got Nexus on the Lifesteal, and then finally, Lich being played by Vengscore, one of the he's played some amazing support lately.
Yeah, puts up a pretty aggressive ward on the Dire side of the river. Wants to make sure he spots the movements of this Magnus, maybe look to control the runes, and despite that aggressive foray into the enemy jungle, it was all just to look for a first blood and get a sentry ward down. They are going to be rotating off the lane. It'll be an off-lane Lifestealer left to his own devices against a safe lane Darkseer, so both heroes should get quite a bit of levels in farm. And for NEXT.kz, running this aggressive tri-lane, are they just trying to dodge here? What's their thought process?
Yeah, it almost feels like they're maybe trying to dodge an offensive, or at least try and dodge the Lich Dark Ritual, but Lich is going to be bottom. I guess the thought process is that sure, Lich is going to deny some creeps here and there, but Shadow Demon Keeper of the Light can actually get kills. If they ever catch that Lich, he's dead.
And meanwhile, mid lane, it looks like we could have our first blood. Wadafaka taking a lot of damage. It's a haste turn for y'all. There's no salve, jams it in, and hits level 2 off the bat. A fortuitous haste rune, but a great play, and he'll head bottom directly. This could be trouble for our Shadow Demon. Oh, the haste rune going to be wearing off fairly soon. He'll deploy a sentry ward and actually heading back towards mid.
Okay, maybe another fast kill if he can get Skewer still on cooldown for a bit longer, of course, because he used it before he died. Which is something you often forget as a solo when you respawn and TP back. You're like, oh, I have all my spells, but like Skewer has a long cooldown. But it seems he's just going to try and plant this. No, he hasn't got his other Sensual. He's just going to rotate towards top. See some dual lane action top?
You know, guys, this is looking... Yeah, we'll see a rotation from the Rubik there, but this is looking horrible for our Magnus. Already, I would say with the Bottle Crow nerf, this is definitely a lane that the Puck should have the advantage. And then the Radiant have 2 Observer Wards spotting both runes. The Dire have 0 vision. They've been dewarded. Actually, I don't even know if they placed one to start off with. They'll deploy a Sentry Ward bottom, but Tipo is just simply going to run away. So he doesn't have rune control. He gave up First Blood, and he's up against a Puck, which is already a tough matchup. This is not a good start for our Magnus, and I fear for NEXT.kz that he may continue to struggle heavily.
A Puck who went Null Talisman, which is a really strong early game item build as far as if Mag gets behind like he does because he died, this Null Talisman could really put him even further behind. So NEXT.kz need to make one of these lanes work. It looks like it's going to have to be the bottom lane, but they can't really kill or do much to Weaver because he just Sakuchi's the hell out of there. The Sentry Wards have already been used by the Dire team in the jungle, so they're not going to have any Sentry Wards in lane for the Weaver.
They're going to abandon the tri-lane. It'll just be a dual lane for now. I guess end of the day, even if you Shadow Demon here, like you said, you're not killing him. Even if they had a Sentry Ward in the lane, the best they can do is really harass unless he overextends. There's just no lockdown to speak of. And they are getting decent farm on their PL, but you look at Rox Kiss, they are just getting more off of this Mac. Nexus 12-0, the Puck mid as expected after the first blood going his way. 9-8, and Wadafaka going to continue to struggle. And then the safe lane Weaver actually getting aggressive here. And I feel around level 5, he can go for a kill on this Keeper of the Light, and there's just not much PL can do to stop that.
Yeah, it'll get a bit harder later on once PL gets like level 3 because the lance spam coming out from PL will be very annoying as the Weaver. He needs to almost get something like a magic stick or a fast tranquil boots because it's going to be constant harass. But for the most part, it's going pretty well, and it's a dual lane setup. We're seeing a lot more dual lanes lately just because of the way teams are sort of anticipating their opponent's lanes.
Yeah, there was definitely some mind games at play in this one. When you see NEXT.kz pick up one of the most defensive lanes in the game, Phantom Lancer, Shadow Demon, Keeper Light, and then head bottom, they are certainly up to something. And I like the fact that they rotated off this lane because they weren't going to get kills here. They're going to fall really far behind in experience if they stay there with the Lich constantly denying creeps, but I still feel a bit of concern for them. They definitely have the late game secure if they get there, just in terms of their draft, but they've got a lot of work cut out for them in order to do that. And the fact that Magnus is 10-1, just has a bottle, still trying to farm his boots, whereas you look at the Puck, no talisman, boots, bottle, and maybe even working towards his next items now. It's going to be a tough lane for him. Well, we'll see initiation bottom. Tipo thinking about getting aggressive. Just going to clear out the creeps for the time being.
I've been corrected, well, as I can now correct you as well. Tipo is actually pronounced Tron.
Sorry, Tron. Yeah, I actually remember reading that earlier. Double damage rune, it's been stolen. It's been poached by BZZ, is perfect. And now Wadafaka on the run. He's actually giving chase. He wants to take someone down with him, but this ship is going down. He will fall. The Rubik's still alive. Stallcat now waiting for Surge cooldown. This could be a double kill for BZZ. This could be a very fast blink. There's your silence. The orb to follow. Needs one more auto attack, and he'll find it. No! What a disruption by Equal. Keeps him alive. Puck orbs forward. BZZ, he thought he had it in the bag. He does have his boots. Stallcat surges again. There's just one auto attack required, and he gets it. Chases him to the end of the earth. My goodness.
That's cruel. The Shadow Demon put so much effort into saving him, and then Puck's like, oh, I'll just keep chasing you down.
That was a godly disruption. Seriously, at the buzzer, basically, but just not enough in the end.
Not enough. Mag gets back towards the mid lane, finds a bit slightly empty lane, although Puck, it's not going to be empty for long. Puck's back once again. No room for some time now, so he's got about a minute where Puck's a bit low on mana, but this is a level 6.5 Puck against a just level 5 Magnus.
You know, I feel like he just has to harass Wadafaka down again, maybe get a little bit more regen so that he can use his full combo, and he can just go for another kill. There's not much Mag does at this point. He didn't actually buy his boots before dying. He's opted for a magic stick, which unfortunately means he will be an extremely easy kill. And guys, this is where Equal really needs a teleport scroll, but he's going to find Yol here in the jungle. In comes Stallcat, a little bit out of position. Lifestealer's going to come in. The disruption, the Soul Catcher, it's a lot of damage, but Yol with the early boots and the magic wand charges may yet be able to live. He's waiting. He's baiting. He tangos through the trees. He's still alive. One Shadow Poison charge. He'll pop the stick. It's not a whole lot of regen. Meanwhile, bottom lane, it looks like there's some action. Oh no, Lifestealer, 10-second cooldown to zap from long range. Picks him up, and they're not done yet. They'll find Stallcat as well. This is turning into a good old-fashioned beatdown in a hurry.
Oh yeah, the fast phase boot just doing so much work at the top lane. It's working out perfectly. Lich needs to be a bit careful bottom lane. He's going to get... Oh, just dodges the clip from that.
Meanwhile, Coil at the top rune, and BZZ, will he steal this haste rune? What the fuck, I could have picked it up, but he actually just ran, and now he's going to pay. BZZ a bit slow on the trigger. I think he just assumed that he was going to get the rune, and now he'll find another kill, and he phase shift to dodge any tower damage. Oh boy, this is painful.
Yeah, it's like you said, Rox Kiss have still been looking very solid and consistent against the slightly lower tier Western teams. Teams like NEXT.kz, who they should be beating, they are beating. And they're showing just really solid Dota right now in all three lanes. It's not just an individual performance. BZZ's playing great, but so's the rest of the team.
And he's going to rotate bottom. He doesn't actually have that much mana. No rune up for him, but he just feels confident. If he finds this Keeper of the Light, he can go for a kill. The Courier's under the tree line. He won't be able to spot that out. In goes Weaver. He's isolated Mantis as well as Reeves. There's your silence. Easy pickings. And it's really a feast at this point. Magnus is teleported in. He'll rotate, but he's too late and unable to do anything there. And Rox Kiss in the end will just back off. Sorry, he didn't TP. He actually walked in, but... all the same.
That's so much time wasted for a Magnus as well to come all the way towards bottom lane. He'll then go back towards mid lane, but he's just level 6. He needs the maxed out Shockwave. He wants more points in Skewer. He wants farm for towards his Blink Dagger or even just his Arcane Boot. So he's just continually not being very efficient with his time. If he gets a puck kill, it's worth it, but when you don't, it just suddenly puts you in an even worse position than you're already in.
You know, it's funny. As hard as this puck is dominating the lane, only 25 CS, and it's not that BZZ is missing too many last hits. It's just he's barely been in the lane. He's been chasing kill stops. He ran all the way bottom to pick one up. And it has slowed down his item progression a tiny bit, I suppose. Still, when you're farming heroes, that's definitely better than farming creeps. He's actually going in bottom. Or rather, Tron is. Not going to commit to this just yet, though.
And even the supports on Rox is doing well. Rubik gets himself fast Arcane Boots, and also just stole himself Shockwave, which is a great spell to steal because it's so spammable, and it costs very little mana. It's one of those nukes which, for Magnus, he obviously has a low mana pool. It doesn't seem that cost efficient, but put it on a hero like Rubik, and it suddenly becomes so strong.
This slow start, I feel, also could have far-reaching consequences. NEXT.kz, as mentioned, if they get there, their lineup will definitely beat Rox Kiss's late game, at least in theory. But they now trail by nearly 4,000 gold, 5,000 or 4,500 experience, and Rubik having a good start against a Magnus who isn't mean, stealing RP is going to be basically child's play, especially if he can farm a Blink Dagger or a Force Staff, and at this rate, I imagine he might. Bottom lane will have some action here. Mantis caught up, lifted, and thrown back in, and by himself, though, Rubik is going to bring him down, throws out 3 nukes, and then on the backside, it's Tron chasing down the Keeper of the Light. Meanwhile, mid lane will have a coil. BZZ's gone in. He's got no phase shift. Whatafaka not even bothering with an RP. Now he'll drop it, but I fear it's too late. In comes Stallcat. He can orb away. He's got the stick charges. I think he's going to live. Never mind that. Does fall to the nuke. That's an important streak to end, but it comes at the cost of yet another support. It's a bloodbath. 10-2. Rox Kiss really running away with this one.
Yeah, there's a very aggressive early start here. Yo, once again, double, triple nukes coming at you. Throws a lance, steals the Shockwave user, and throws a Fade Bolt out. His damage output is just scary when you look at that. He doesn't really have the mana to sustain it, but he's putting on a lot of pressure.
He is a one-man army. My goodness, this roaming support Rubik. I wish I could play Rubik like this. This is pretty fun to watch.
He's doing a fantastic job here. Stallcat right back into the jungle, knows he needs to get up as fast a mech as possible, but to me the big problem for NEXT.kz is this one plan of theirs, get to the late game, have PL carry you, isn't really looking too good because PL isn't even CSing that well.
Yeah, you look at that Phantom Lancer, he has 36 CS. It's not horrible, but then you have to consider the offlane Lifestealer mostly left by himself, since we've seen Puck, Rubik, all of them rotating. Random dust deployed by BZZ. Pretty misspecified the hotkey there, but he's not CSing well, and Lifestealer has nearly double his CS in the offlane with very little support. That's troublesome. Well, we might see an engagement top momentarily. Our Puck's rotated in, has not rushed the Blink Dagger. He's gone for the treads. Pretty standard build, really. Oh, bank score caught in the river. A hasted Ion Shell Mag running away from a half HP Lich. You know you're behind when. Now Yo will pick up Whatafaka, throws him back in. The coil deployed, catches 2. Do they really think they can kill this Mag? It looks like they do. I'm not sure they can. And in the end, well, NEXT.kz have a lot of haste right now, so they'll be able to run away.
Yeah, they want to get the hell out of there, I think. As soon as you see a Puck, full HP, full mana, you know a lot of the damage coming in. This is a level 9 Puck, so it almost has that beautiful level 10 where you have the maxed out Waning Rift, the maxed out Illusionary Orb on your damage output. Gets pretty damn scary. Like you said, went for the fast treads, but this just allows him to put out more damage early on the Blink. Blows up Magnus.
My goodness, y'all didn't even have time to use the shockwave there. There's another 300 damage available on top of that.
Couldn't even use his magic wand. He's sitting there with 7 charges and it's just like, well, instantly dead.
Painful. And you look at Tron bottom lane, that Weaver having some pretty good farm of his own. This dual core lineup is so hard to kill. How do you kill the Lifestealer? How do you kill the Weaver? Their only reliable lockdown is the RP, and Magnus is nowhere near a blink. I fear the biggest issue for NEXT.kz is not only are they behind, but I don't see their comeback mechanic. Without a blink on the mag, how are they actually going to find a kill?
I worry a lot as well. And mag, you want arcane boots first. You just don't have the mana to support blink, skewers, RP, as well as shockwaves without arcane boots. It's an essential item on mag, so he's really far away from the blink. It's not like he has 900 gold towards a blink. This is 900 gold towards an arcane boots.
Unless he just opts to skip it. It might be one of those games where you just have to chance it. Mid lane, we'll see a surge in on what a fuck. It's a long way to dive. He gets silence under the tower. There's going to be a coil soon. He's got to commit to this. RP is there. Only catches one. This is a very, very aggressive dive. He skewers up to the high ground. He gets disrupted wall doing so. It keeps him alive. And in the end, he gets zapped into submission. Now equal will fall. Well, they got the puck. That's about it.
Agnes and Shadow Demon for it, possibly even more. Weaver's actually showing up. Tron wants to chase down Darkseer, not going to be able to do so because of the surge, but that was all. It's for a puck, which is obviously a good kill. A level 11 puck gives a lot of experience to your team, but it's just so desperate for NEXT.kz. They're not even creating much space on the other sides of the map because Lifesteal is still top, and he's really slowing down the PL's farm because Lifesteal with phase boots and armlet can pretty much win the last hit battle with a PL completely.
And he hits him, and that's why Mantis has just abandoned the lane. He's in the jungle now. He'll leave it up to that Keeper of the Light to sit way behind the tower and just clear off the creep wave. But Nexus says, I'm going to take this tower. He rages. There is, of course, a glyph, but without RP, he's not afraid of a teleport. This is very sad for NEXT.kz. They pop a glyph. They have a Keeper of the Light spamming Illuminate. Meanwhile, bottom rune, though. Yol, he's gotten a little cocky. He may pay for this with his life. He's stolen Skewer. Never mind that. Skewer's up onto the cliff, but doesn't have a teleport scroll. It could have been a Woda to play, but it looks like it's probably going to end up being his death. In comes our Lich, looking for a Chain Frost. The vacuum is there by Stallcat. Oh, not going to connect really or accomplishing anything. Just a little bit of additional damage. They disrupt the Rubik, who's already trapped on the cliff. Not sure about that, but they do bring him down. No RP. What a fuck is in trouble. Vang's score doesn't actually have the mana for a Chain Frost. In comes the coil. Mantis running for his life. Silence and should be brought down in a hurry. Sakuchi finishes the job. It's just a train wreck for NEXT.kz, and they're not done yet. Stallcat on the run. Tron, he'll drop the bugs. He'll give chase, and he'll follow him, I imagine, through this surge. Still diving, still diving. The bugs will be killed off. He'll barely live.
It's really funny. Even the bad fights for Rox Kiss end up being good fights. You have Rubik stuck on some cliff, surrounded by 3 heroes. You're like, oh, he's dead. There's Shockwave spam, there's Shadow Poison, and then somehow they get 2 to 3 kills out of it, Rox Kiss. They're just turning everything their way.
That was pretty clowny. The best part was the disruption. He's not going anywhere, but he disrupted him anyway. I wasn't sure about that one.
Yeah, it needed some illusion DPS or something. I don't know. They were really scared of that Lich Chain Frost, and with good reason. If they grouped up to finish off Rubik, that Chain Frost could have got 2-3 kills out of that very fast. Speaking
of that Lich, Tranquil Boots, he won't even bother to disassemble him. He's just going straight for a mech. He's got Buckler, and he's got, oh, bottom lane, we'll have a huge engagement. BZZ's jumped in. He just got his Blink Dagger. He doesn't have the coil. RP only catches, well, it catches Lifestealer and Weaver, but the heroes you really can't burst down, and they simply scoot away. They can go back in with coil, and I think BZZ's saying, guys, I'm going to stick up. Here we go.
And Darkseer is out of mana. He can pop the Soul Ring to get a surge up, but without that mana, it's hard to escape.
Watch for the Chain Frost. Mag drops in a flash, and now Stallcat on the back lines. He's been isolated. There's a coil for him. Doesn't have mana for a surge. No mech either. He can pop a Soul Ring, but in doing so, ensures his own demise. 3 more. The bodies are just, the body count is quickly piling up. Mantis, yeah, he's found a bit of room to farm, but he's got 15-minute Tranquil Boots drums. That ain't going to cut it when Lifestealer's got 2,700 gold, phase boots, and armlet.
Yeah, it's just constant aggression from Rox Kiss, and they don't have to worry too much about the counter ganks because they've got such hard to kill heroes. Weaver, Lifestealer, Puck, all 3 heroes very evasive, very hard to kill, and NEXT.kz, while they've got some disables here and there, it's not really proper lockdown. There's no sort of instant stuns. Disruption's not really a stun, it's just more like a stalling spell. All they've got is an RP, and that's not even guaranteed to land when you've got stuff like Puck who can silence him, you can orb around. Even if Lifestealer gets caught in RP, he's so tanky hard to bring down. If he pops his armlet on, pops a rage off first, it's just looking really bad for NEXT.kz. Another fight goes not their way, maybe we see a GG very early on.
It's such a passive lineup, and it's not to say that it can't work for Next. I actually thought their draft was okay, but they couldn't afford to give up a first blood mid on the Magnus. He needed to have a decent start because he's the playmaker for this team. He's the only one who could set up kills. If he had at least held on and done all right, even if they gave up some kills in the tri-lane, even if the Darkseer dies a few times, even if Rox Kiss get ahead and farm, I wouldn't have counted them out, but it's this Phantom Lancer, gods. He's sitting on just such minimal farm. The Band of Elven Skin, he's going for a Yasha. Not even going to have a combat-worthy item like the Diffusal Blade. It's going to be such a long time. I would say...
I've got Infest, that's bottom.
Bottom lane. There's your Blink Infest, Mantis. Well, see ya.
Yeah. About that Yasha. And we're talking about a Yasha here, which is not particularly a late game item.
It's
Can't even get that
it's
up.
an okay farming item, but it'll help you get to late game. It's not a Radiance, and he can't even get it up. And it's not a Diffusal Blade. He's not really going to be able to fight directly with this. Not against this freaking Lifestealer. 3,500 gold. He may just pick up a Relic. Skip the Basher, go straight for the Relic because he's richer than God.
Yeah, the focus has mostly been around the Puck and the Weaver, sort of getting the kills, making the plays happen. But this Lifestealer, an offlane Lifestealer that is the richest hero in the game, and he's 3-0-2. He's so farm.
You know,
Disconnect comes up and keep it alive. Probably see a pause coming. I don't think this is.
NEXT.kz is normally a pretty mannered team. If they were going to tap out, I'm pretty sure they GG, and we will see a pause.
There's just an accidental DC coming out from good old Reeves.
This is painful. I'm mentally abused by this game.
It's like you said, Magnus is going to go straight for the blink. I think he's like, okay, it's desperate. Got to just go straight blink. The problem is, then you can blink RP, but there goes 275 mana. You've only got enough for maybe a skewer. Maybe you can get one shockwave off in the fight, but shockwave's like your spammable nuke. You want to be using that quite a bit. The wand is going to be the only thing which can really reboost his mana up. You can't really often rely on using bottles middle fight.
And none of these heroes have arcane boots. We see a shadow. I guess they could Keeper of the Light shocker him. That's the one thing they could do, but
this Keeper of the Light's got 560 HP.
he's got to sit at the tier 4s.
Between Weaver being able to Shikuchi after him, Lifestealer who can just phase in with Rage, and Puck who has a Blink Dagger, I think this Lifestealer is going to... Sorry, the Keeper's going to die very fast.
And here's the other problem, is this is all assuming that even if they get the RP, they can burst the Lifestealer, the Puck, or the Weaver down. The Lifestealer, almost certainly not, especially not with Frost Armor, or the Ice Armor, rather. It's really going to reduce how hard the Phantom Lancer can damage him, and the Puck, maybe he phase shift dodges it, maybe the Rubik is there to lift the Magnus when he jumps in. It's a lot of ifs and maybes, and that is not generally a recipe for success. It's not looking good for NEXT.kz.
No, not by any means. We'll call it what it is. It's very grim. It's not completely over. They can still hope for and rely on Rox.KiS overextending. They've got, and it's not so much Rox.KiS making mistakes and getting cocky. They've got a lineup which is going to get kills by diving deep. If NEXT.kz can line up perfect RP, skewer back towards their towers, and basically use the towers as extra firepower, maybe they can turn things around, but yikes. Bad start.
So how's Australia, gods?
Australia's nice. I can sit around, drink wine.
You get to have real coffee.
Real coffee, yeah.
Gods is very dismissive of American coffee and beer. You're not a fan.
American beer is good. Well, some. I don't have any problem with American beer. It's more obviously it's like your mainstream, your Bud Light, your Budweiser. It's kind of shitty, but that's like your Foster's in Australia. That's really shitty. No one drinks Foster's.
It's funny because they bill it as like this classy, be an Australian beer in America.
Australia doesn't do that. Foster's does that. That's Foster's advertising. No one. I know some Australians who haven't even heard of Foster's. Like you ask them what Foster's, and they'll be like, I've never heard of it.
What is this swill?
It's not like they won't even know it's a beer. Like if you just mention, have you heard of the brand Foster's? Some Australians will be like, nope, haven't heard of it. You ask an American, and almost every American will know.
I could use some Foster's.
It's interesting marketing that they only market towards the international market.
Well, they're getting all the hipsters, the people who want to have a little international swag or flair. It's the lazy hipsters though. It's the ones who aren't really searching for a truly unique thing, but they're like, hey, that sounds somewhat vaguely different. I'll go for that.
Australia's nice though. How's LA doing?
Well, Merlini is molesting me. Blitz and Hotbid were miming blowjobs earlier.
I heard. Well, I also heard some good stripper stories from Marlini as well. So.
Oh my goodness, that guy, such a
Stuff's
character,
falling
such
apart.
a frat boy, Marlene.
He really is. It's so like I see him on stream and stuff. I'm like, oh, he's just a nice kind of pretty professional guy. Like I've heard how when he first started playing Dota, he was a shit talker and stuff. But that's like every Dota player. So I didn't really hold that against him or anything. But he showed up. He's like, all he wanted to do is have fun, be a big frat boy. I'm like, this guy's cool. Not how I pictured him.
Of course, when he left us last time, he may have had a little too much to drink. It's a funny story, actually. Blitz's sister was driving him to the airport, and the entire time, let's just say, Marlene was doing his best to suppress the urge to throw up. So she comes over to visit tonight, and he was in denial. He wouldn't admit that he had done anything wrong, and she was not very happy about that. She took it pretty well, though.
Yeah,
That guy.
She's a good sport, but hopefully things get underway here. For those of you just tuning in, this is I'm not 100% confirmed. This is Corsair Summer Tournament, I believe.
Yeah, the Corsair Summer Tour, something like that.
Okay. I kept saying I was saying Corsair Cup earlier, but I think that's wrong.
Yeah, me too.
Corsair Gaming Summer Tournament, according to the tournament logo.
Okay. Well, the logo's probably more correct than us. I think it
Yeah.
knows best.
Go-To Gamers news titles are saying Corsair Gaming Summer Tournament 2013. I think they're doing like multiple games under this brand, under this logo. So maybe they have some other games.
Yeah, I really like the concept because it's a pretty concise format. You only have 16 teams, but of course you don't have some of the biggest names. I guess Navi and Alliance are participating, I believe, but
And Liquid's the
and
other big
Liquid.
ones.
But it makes way for teams like NEXT.kz, IC Cup, these somewhat, I wouldn't say tier 2 necessarily, but sort of lesser known North American, European, well in these cases, European teams to, or even Asian for NEXT.kz, I suppose you could say, to get to compete in a tournament that is decent prize money for the duration. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool what they're doing.
Alliance are rolling in cash by now. They've gone to G1 League, won like $30,000 there for first place. They're winning everything. I think it's good. It's healthy for the scene. Some other teams can get themselves some hard-earned cash for some tournament games. Apart from those guys from EG, they make millions too.
I saw you may be looking for some pocket money. You thinking of moving to Korea, buddy?
I actually looked in flights because I saw the dates and like I kind of realized, oh, you have to have 5 people who have like a Next, like it's open to foreigners, but you have to have a Nexon Dota 2 account, which you can only get if you're like a Korean resident, so it's kind of deceiving.
Yeah, because it says open to anybody basically.
But
So.
I looked into it. I weighed off the prize pool versus the plane ticket and realized can't really justify it.
It's a $1.7 million prize pool, but that's not for this tournament.
Yeah.
The Nexon Starter League is a small sort of, I guess they just want to sort of test out their arrangement with GOM TV, put some feelers out there, just raise a little interest. But then the big prize pool and the big tournaments are going to be later this year, I imagine.
That's when I'll be moving to Korea, LD. That's when I'll be leaving you.
Are you saying Beyond the Summit is coming to an end soon?
I'll find someone to fill the reins.
Okay. We'll put Lumi in. We've seen how reliable he is at production. He can fill in a pinch, no problem.
It's all right. Well, we'll get back underway here. It looks like NEXT.kz they've reconnected. We'll see how they do here, but they've got their work cut out. They've got all their T2 towers up, but probably not for much longer.
Oh, Puck's gonna orb in. I feel like he could have dove that, and it would have been a good fight. That's how far behind Rox or NEXT.kz are. But he'll play it safe. He'll wait for a better fight. I guess Coil was on cooldown. That's the only thing I feel that was keeping him from going in. There's Infest in 8 seconds. If they want to jump this, oh, it's going to be tough. And meanwhile, they have kept someone top. I really like how they're not leaving the PL alone. They're not 5-manning. They always leave one there. They might do a Blink Infest bomb. Any second. This looks very bad. Blink. Coil. Silence on 2. Easy pickings. Wadafaka, he'll skewer out, but he takes the damage, unfortunately, from the Coil break, and he will go down. That was like taking candy from a baby.
I didn't actually notice the mech has been finished on Stalcat, which almost kept the mag alive long enough, but didn't. If it had, could have been less than as bad as it was, but it's still going great for Rox Kiss. They even forced PL back to Fountain, or back to his own base. He can't even farm the creep wave because of Weaver just being too tanky, level 14 on him. He's doing just fine,
Yeah, it's really smart, because they left the... You pointed out how the lifestealer was top earlier, and he couldn't farm then. Even when they're pushing now, they're far enough ahead that they don't need 5 to take these fights, and they're making sure they don't give NEXT.kz any easy way back into the game. You keep on pressuring the PL's lane, he can't freely farm, and you just secure the victory a little bit easier.
Lifesteal actually picks up a Maelstrom. I missed this side. This is a cool little item for the Lifestealer. Just some nice damage output that you get from it in a pinch. We may even see Puck go for something like a Dagon with this Null Talisman, because if you can just kill off these heroes really fast, the important hero like a Mag, you've won the fight.
Oh, they're going on Lich. Are they really going on Lich? He drops the Chain Frost. That's going to bounce only twice. Gets off the nuke as well. Shockwave will bring him down, but they have not addressed the Lifestealer problem. Equal gonna fall here in just a second. BZZ is perfect, takes him down, and NEXT.kz. Another fight, another death. It was actually an okay engagement for them, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like enough to me. That was without Coil, by the way.
Near enough.
The big thing there is that's without Coil. That's also without the Maelstrom. Lifestealer has not bothered to deliver this item yet. He's so far ahead, he says, screw it, I don't actually need it. It just looks cool in my stash.
Yeah, and on top of that, yeah, they didn't even use the Lifestealer Infest Bomb there. They can look to put him inside the Puck again, get another blink in, and its hero's instantly dying.
Oh, this is not helping. Tron's diving the base. He really wants this courier. He actually could have killed it, but he used the Sakuchi, or the double auto attack proc on Mantis, then saw it and went for it. But, well, Mantis gets his item. I think he just completed his Yasha, it looks like, so something going this way.
He needs Diffusal Blade before he can even think about really coming to these fights. He's not going to do a whole lot without a Diffusal Blade. When he has it, maybe they have a bit of a chance if you can get some fast illusions and just burn away at Lifestealer's mana pool or Weavers or whoever it may be. But here comes the Infest. It's not just a Maelstrom. He's got completed Mjolnir.
Oh man, this is going to be so good against Phantom Lancer. Actually, BZZ is also hunting the courier. This friggin' courier, man, it's living a charmed life, I gotta say. The little snail that could. Speaking of couriers, we have one coming out today, I believe. Stallcat gets vacuumed. Well, actually vacuums Vang's score back in. I'm not sure about that. Now a blink. A silence on equal. Can't even get the disrupt off despite the mech. There is just no way he gets out of here. He drops all his spells, does everything in his power, but it's not enough. They lose him, and this tower mid could be in a lot of trouble.
They're making
farming.
Rox Kiss work for the kills. Like, they're diving past tier 2 towers with 4 heroes just for a Shadow Demon, but it's still very, very unwinnable for NEXT.kz right now.
You know, NEXT.kz, I think, at least the way I remember them back during the International 2 Western qualifiers, very much a 4-protect-1 team. Love to just get Mantis ridiculously farmed and play very defensively. I would say they're somewhat similar to how DK was playing at the time, albeit not nearly as polished or having the same skill, but the same type of style. This draft definitely fits the bill, but I just go back to what we were talking about earlier. It's so much emphasis on the Magnus having a good start. Without that, I mean, who's going to make the plays? It just doesn't feel like any other hero has the potential, even with items.
NEXT.kz were one of those cool teams that also would pull out some unusual picks. They were one of the first teams to use Ursa. They would just run these unusual strategies around just some unconventional heroes. They picked Mirana here and there when it was completely unheard of to use this hero. But they've fallen off a bit. They're now lately, the last however many months, it's always been this 4-protect-1. And unfortunately, they just haven't found many results. If
you're going to do this every game, you have to be perfect at it. And giving up a first blood that early, not perfect. But they might find a kill mid. A blink, a skewer too early by Wadafaka, and the Chain Frost flashes forth. That has extra bounces now, but it won't be enough to get the kill. I feel like that's a microcosm of this game. Now, Nexus on the chase. He does have the phase boots for 1 second. BZZ leaps forward. He gets the coil out. That's Stallcat in a whole world of pain. He gets open wounds. Yeah, that's dead. Now Reeves, well, he'll escape, but now Rox Kiss can look at a tier 2 mid.
Yeah, they'll grab this tier 2 mid. They have managed to create some decent space for PL the last couple minutes. He's up to 2.4k already, so we'll see that Diffusal very soon. So his farm, he's caught up, and it's because they haven't been continuing that pressure by always having a hero in his lane. He's managed to find empty lanes, get his farm up, but Rox Kiss have just been using this time to get towers, get other kills on NEXT.kz, and just slow down any item progression.
There you go. Equal tries to defend the tower, Equal dies.
There's
the life in
anywhere near.
That's a day in the life of an underfarmed, underleveled, and very behind support.
This courier is having a better life than most of these NEXT.kz supports. He's seen a lot of action, but He's been managing to stay alive.
Radiant's bottom
Yeah,
tower
that
is
friggin'
under
Curry.
attack.
The chat's just, I'm just reading the chat. It just got back to the fountain with 1 hit 2 minutes ago, and, well, everyone is wanting this courier now. It's good promotion for the snail, I suppose. Our courier can kill Roshan, though, guys.
Yeah, confirmed.
So,
I've tested it using the.
322% confirmed.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I think we actually. It was showing on Solo's stream as well. He's been streaming lately. He's also been getting more views than like any other stream out there. He's like Dendy level of views now.
Well, I know Savior in StarCraft or Brood War, everybody went nuts when he started broadcasting lessons after his lifetime ban from Kespa. He started doing lessons at some point, and it was either VODs or it was a live stream that was getting just tons of hits. But we'll see where Solo goes.
There's a lesson to be learned there, but I don't think we should advertise it.
I'm not sure. Well, actually, Merlini would probably approve since he's got the he's got the morality of, I don't know, the most corrupt person in the world. What if fucker gets caught here? Blink, coil, and blown up. And it's actually 2 that fight the dust. 2 of the cores, and the chase is on. The courier once again deep into enemy territory. By enemy territory, I mean anywhere outside the base.
This time,
Nope.
This time it's Gonski's.
Dyer's courier has been
Yeah, the
killed.
Mystic Staff, only 2 hits required.
Dyer's
Down it
bottom
goes.
tower is under attack.
Elgato would have survived that.
Yeah, for sure. Did I mention there might be an armored cat version at some point?
Radiant's
That one
middle
can take
tower
like
is
50
under
hits
attack.
from enemy heroes.
Comes with bonus HP.
I promise. Yeah. Well,
Valve have gone back on their policy of allowing in-game items to give you an advantage.
oh no. Equal could be in trouble. He eats an Urn Charge, blink, lift him up, throw him back, and now the Purge comes out, but it's all buying time for BZZ to find another kill. He could blink here, he could dive this.
Dyer's
He doesn't
top
have coil
tower
though.
is
He
under
won't commit.
attack.
I'm excited for Elgato.
Me too. Apparently coming out tonight. I don't know if I think normally patches come out. Well, I guess it's meant to come out yesterday, but there was no patch yesterday, so I assume the patch is going to be tonight. Valve haven't said otherwise, so
Yeah,
I'll be very sad if it's not.
if it's not, we'll probably go on starvation and protest. And then we'll get hungry and we'll stop being on starvation. But RoX.KiS are going Roche, and this is going to be a guaranteed Roche. No real way for NEXT.kz to fight.
Radiant's bottom tower is
No way to
under
fight
attack.
this. They do have a defusal on
Radiant
Manta,
structures
which
are
is
fortified.
good news, but I feel they need a bit more than good news here.
We'll see. They're actually drawing lines towards Roshan. Smoked up, they were thinking about it. Pretty slow to realize, but I suppose they just had absolutely no map control or idea whatsoever that it was going on. So in the end, we're looking at a Weaver with the Daedalus and 2,600 gold. Nexus sitting on a Reaver on top of the aforementioned items. He even has bought a gem for his team. It looks like he has. It says owned by, but the owned by is blank. So I'm not sure if he bought it, but either way, it's going to be hard for PL to run from him in these fights. And the tankier they get, the harder it seems that an RP will have to work to actually change these fights.
Yeah. OP is not going to be this. If you get catching lifesteal's not going to do
Oh
anything.
no,
And even
there's a
getting
sight
that
device
way
from BZZ. He's gone in on equal. Easy kill. RP. Perfect RP, but it was stolen, and that's not good. 2 heroes caught in the pit. The Chain Frost bouncing. Helter Skelter. Everybody falling. Mantis on the run. The tether's going to break. The coil, rather. He goes down. 3 bite the dust. Equal bought back, and NEXT.kz thoroughly thrashed. They will tap out.
Yeah, the Mags RP was good, the Rubik's one was even better, and it didn't take Rox Kiss long to get ahead, and boy did they just never give NEXT.kz a single chance to get back into this game.
So we head into game 2 of this best of 3. Of course, all the matches for the group stages are best of 3. If NEXT.kz go on to lose this match, they will be playing Virtus Pro directly afterwards. Virtus Pro, you actually got to cast that one in a bit of an upset. They fell earlier today.
Yeah, playing with, well, the game 1 they were playing with a lot of
attack.
stand-ins, so game 2, game 3 was just the one stand-in, but they look pretty solid, but I think more than anything, Icy Cup just a very underrated team at the moment. They're a team who, I would say, are probably, I would put them and VP as the 2 strongest teams in this group. I would say both those 2 teams currently better than Rox Kiss.
Well, gods, that's going to wrap it up for game 1. Rox Kiss do it, and they do it in style. 34-7, that's your final score. Game 2 is going to be NEXT.kz up against the ropes. If they lose that game, they will be playing Virtus Pro later today. It's a tough road for them. As for RoX.KiS, they need to take one more of the next 2 to move on. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with Game 2 after these messages.
destroyed.